S. When the sun opens its golden eye upon the earth, it does not ask permission to shine. When the rivers begin their endless song, they do not wait for us to tell them where to flow. And yet we, fragile, stubborn, beautiful creatures, rise each morning clutching the weight of yesterday, as if we alone can push the world into its turning. But I have learned, my friends, that there is a sweeter way to live, a gentler way to walk through the hours. It is the way of surrender, not in defeat, but in divine trust. It is to lift your hands, your heart, your plans, and say, Lord, this day is yours. Carry it, carry me. So today, I invite you to loosen your grip on the wheel of worry and let the Master of Mornings take over your day. When dawn comes, it comes with or without your consent. It rolls in on the hush of night's retreat, on the tender whisper of the wind that has touched stars you will never see. The earth does not rise from its slumber, asking you how to spin. The tide does not pause to seek your approval before it meets the shore. Life is a great orchestra, already tuned, already humming the melody of centuries, and yet here we stand, clutching our small baton, thinking the music will stop if we do not wave it. We wake each morning with fists closed tight around our plans, our fears, our unspoken demands of the day. We wake already braced for the storms that may never come. We rise like soldiers preparing for a battle we have not yet met, strapping on our armor of anxiety, our shields of suspicion, our helmets of what if. We tell ourselves that control is safety, that vigilance is power, that if we keep our eyes wide and our minds tense, we can bend the hours to our will. And yet, the hours will do what they were made to do. They will move. They will change. They will carry us whether we run or rest. The truth, my friend, is that your tight grasp on the world does not keep it together. It only keeps you from breathing. You cannot hold the river still and expect to see your reflection clearly. You cannot cage the wind and still feel its cool mercy on your skin. There is a rhythm older than your worry, a cadence more steady than your pulse. It beats in the roots of the oldest trees. It hums in the low belly of the mountains. It dances in the black belly of space where the stars are born and die in silence. This rhythm asks nothing of you, but your willingness to sway with it. When you loosen your grip, you will feel it. That current, that breath beneath your breath. You will notice that the ground holds you without your effort. You will see that the sky arches over you without your permission. You will sense that you are a part of something vast, something strong enough to carry the weight you have been clutching like a child holding onto broken glass. And when you dare to open your hands, even just a little, you will find they do not come away empty. They come away lighter. There is courage in unclenching. There is bravery in saying, I do not have to drive the sun across the sky today. There is freedom in laying down the illusion that the world rests on your narrow shoulders. We were not made to push the river. We were made to float, to be carried in its gentle, certain current toward the place where the light widens and the water stills. Look at the birds when you have a moment. They rise with the wind, not against it. They do not demand the breeze blow from the east instead of the west. They take what is given and make of it a flight. Watch the way a tree surrenders to the season. It does not cling to its leaves in winter, though it once grew them with great effort. It lets them go because it knows that the rhythm will bring new ones in their time. This is not weakness. This is wisdom carved into the marrow of creation. And so, your day does not need your fierce grip to become what it is meant to become. It needs your open hands. It needs you to step into its flow as you would into a warm stream, trusting that the current will take you somewhere your feet alone could not carry you. This is not about laziness. It is not about folding your arms and letting the hours pass unmarked. No. It is about learning the art of moving in step with something greater than your own fear. It is about letting your heart keep time with the quiet drumbeat that has been playing since the first dawn. The world is wide, and you are small, and yet you belong entirely. Your breath belongs to the wind. Your steps belong to the earth. Your laughter belongs to the great song that began before you and will outlive you. When you loosen your grip on the weight of the day, you will find you have more strength to lift what truly matters. The weight will be there, yes, but it will not be yours alone to carry. And in that sweet unburdening, you will discover a gentler kind of power. The power of moving not against the tide, but with it. The power of living not as a frantic conductor, but as a beloved note in the music of the day morning, has a way of greeting us softly if we let it. It steps in quietly, with light resting gently on the windowsill, with air cool and unclaimed, with a stillness that has not yet been touched by the rush of voices or the weight of demands. In that tender space between sleep and waking, before the noise of the day comes knocking, there is a chance to choose the posture of your heart, and the most powerful choice you can make in that moment is to bow it in gratitude. Gratitude is not blind. It sees the cracks in the walls, the unpaid bills, the phone call you've been dreading. It is not the ignorance of trouble, but the recognition of treasure alongside it. It is the art of letting the first word of the day be, "Thank you," even if the second word is, "Help." Gratitude does not need perfection. It only needs your attention. It looks at the smallest offering, the warmth of a blanket, the steady breath in your lungs, the light that broke through darkness one more time, and says, "This is enough to start with." When you begin with gratitude, you set your feet on a different road before you even step out of bed. It is as though you have tuned your ear to a certain melody, and the rest of the day's music will have to find its harmony with it. Gratitude steadies you. It makes the difference between walking into the hours like a beggar, empty-handed and fearful, and walking in like a guest who knows they belong at the table. It shifts your eyes from what is missing to what is present, from what you cannot hold to what is already in your hands. Too often we rise with a list of what the day must deliver to be worthy of our joy. We tell ourselves, if the traffic is light, if the meeting goes well, if the phone call is good news, and we tie our peace to conditions that are as fragile as soap bubbles. But gratitude cuts those strings. It says, "Peace is mine now, before the road clears, before the meeting, before the news." It is an anchor you drop in the soil of this very moment, holding you steady even when the wind begins to stir. Gratitude changes your gait. It changes your gaze. It takes you from hurrying past the world to walking through it with your head lifted high enough to notice the way sunlight turns an ordinary street into gold. It lets you see the face of a stranger not as an interruption, but as an unrepeatable moment in the great mosaic of your life. It draws your eyes to the overlooked, the flower pushing through a crack in the sidewalk, the laugh that slipped out when you weren't thinking about anything at all, the taste of something simple made beautiful by the hunger it met. When you begin the day with thanks, you walk lighter, not because the road is shorter, but because your spirit is not dragging the weight of constant wanting. And in that lightness, you have more to give. You find yourself offering smiles you did not plan to give, patience you thought you had run out of, kindness that arrives like an unexpected guest and stays as if it has always lived in your house. Gratitude multiplies in the giving, until the very act of walking through your day becomes a kind of blessing. To you, and to everyone who happens to cross your path, we are taught from early on to measure life in results. The grade on the paper, the number in the bank, the ring on the finger, the door that opens, the door that shuts. We build plans with the precision of architects, drawing lines across the hours and naming them our future. And when the wind comes, when the rain seeps in, when the map in our hands dissolves in the storm, we call it failure. But life was never ours to contain in the first place. We are travelers, not landlords. The road bends where it bends. The sky clears when it clears. The season changes when the season is ready. Holding too tightly to outcomes is like clutching a bird so hard you forget it has wings. You may keep it with you for a moment, but you strip it of the very thing that made it worth holding. When we fix our joy to the exact shape of what we expect, we miss the quiet miracles that come in different wrapping. We walk past the gift because it is not the one we imagined. We tell ourselves we have been overlooked, when in truth, the blessing was standing in the doorway all along, simply wearing another coat. There is a kind of peace that arrives only when you loosen your grip on the ending. It is the peace of planting seeds without knowing which will grow, of writing letters without demanding a reply, of loving without scripting the return. This peace is not passive, it is not resignation. It is the confidence of knowing that the path ahead does not need your every instruction to lead somewhere worth going. It is trust in the unfolding, in the idea that the day is wiser than your plan for it. That there are corners you have not turned, which hold the very answer you were chasing down the wrong street. The world is full of people who missed the beauty of the journey because their eyes were locked on the finish line. They walked past kindness, past wonder, past small graces, all because they were measuring the day by a single outcome. But there is another way, to step into the morning not as a negotiator striking a deal, but as a guest arriving at a feast. You do not know what will be served, but you trust that there will be something to nourish you. And when you are surprised by what is placed before you, you taste it before you judge it. Releasing control over outcomes does not make you powerless. In truth, it sets you free to live fully in the only space you truly own, this moment. It opens your hands to receive what is here now, instead of gripping the ghost of what you think should be. It makes room for the possibility that the detour is the destination, that the no was a doorway to a better yes, that the delay was not denial but preparation. The unfolding has its own wisdom, one that needs no clock and no permission slip from you. And when you learn to move with it instead of against it, you will find that life is less about reaching the place you thought you needed to be, and more about noticing the beauty of where you are as it reveals itself. The world will give you countless chances, each day, to decide what kind of presence you will be in it. You will pass strangers whose eyes will flick toward you for the briefest moment, not knowing they are asking, silently, if kindness still exists here. You will speak to people whose voices carry the weight of battles you cannot see, whose words may be sharp only because their wounds are fresh. And you will meet those who are easy to love and those who are not, those who open their hands to you and those who cross their arms tight against your approach. In all of this, you will have the choice to answer with hardness or with grace. Compassion is not weakness, though the hurried world will tell you it is. It is not naivety, though cynics will try to dress it as such. Compassion is the deep, steady knowing that every soul you meet is walking through their own storm, carrying burdens you cannot name, tending to hopes as fragile as your own. It is the quiet courage to look beyond the surface of an encounter and see the humanist pulsing beneath. It is the decision to be gentle, even when the world has been anything but gentle to you. When you carry compassion, you become a refuge in the noise. Your presence offers a pause, a breath, a reminder that not all hands in this world are clenched in fists. Sometimes, compassion is a smile that breaks the spell of someone's loneliness. Sometimes it is the gift of listening without trying to fix, or the grace of letting a harsh word pass by without striking back. It is not about grand gestures. It is about the steady drip of kindness that wears away the rock of despair over time. Compassion has a way of multiplying in you as you give it. You find that the more you extend understanding, the more you receive it from unexpected places. You discover that each act of gentleness strengthens you rather than drains you, for it roots you deeper into what is unshakable and true. And as you move through the day carrying this quiet light, you leave traces behind, not always seen, not always thanked, but always felt, like the lingering warmth of the sun long after it has slipped beyond the horizon.